video should go out. I'm going to send out, once you send out a tweet too.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah. Like no one's here yet, so
okay.
It's going to take a while for it to go out. See, it just hit YouTube now that we're actually going.
So do I tweet out the link, or what do I do?
Just
or share your tweet, maybe retweet your tweet.
Yeah, let me find it. Should have thought of this beforehand. This is why we're the most highly regarded media outlet out there. First, Team 183. Hello. We're just gonna send out some tweets real quick. Hey guys, hey, what's up? Hey. If I can find it, and I will tag you in it, and then you can retweet it. So I'm gonna go back and find the one. Here we go. Dude. All right. Okay, there we go. Hello, everyone. Hello. Hey, Evan, you need to get a haircut. Oh well. Leave Evan alone. I'm the only one allowed to.
My wife would agree.
I'm the only one who's allowed to yell at him tonight. Let's go to YouTube. I don't know what that is.
All right, I'm up to date on the timeline.
All right, okay, so let's get into this. Let me turn down my volume. All right, here we go. All right, hello, everyone, all three of you. This is every time you talk, I like it, and I'm talking. This blanks out in my ears. I don't know what it is. So sometimes I'm just going to ask you to repeat. No, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes I ask you to repeat what you say because I just can't hear what you're saying. So basically, everyone, if you saw on Twitter, Evan and I had a difference of opinion about Drew Brees. We've talked a little bit, and because I didn't want to go in this thing all fired up in a way. And it was kind of what I thought it was. Like I was talking about apples, he was talking about oranges, but we are still going to talk about it, and we still do disagree on some things, just not as nasty as I felt it was being on Twitter. And and I knew Evan, so I really wasn't too upset about it. But then I found myself pacing around my house and smoking cigarettes, like chain smoking cigarettes. My girlfriend was scared and all that stuff. So anyway, without further ado, which may or may not go onto a podcast, probably not, Evan Winter from Sportsbook Nation, for the Buck fans because this is on the Petercast channel. People who don't know you, go ahead and introduce yourself, what you do, and sort of recap what happened earlier today, what brought us to where we are now.
Name's Evan. Write for BucksNation.com, part of the SB Nation. Find me on Twitter at Evan_Winter, EVANWINTR, all lowercase letters. Essentially saw your tweet, big guy, earlier today about how essentially, and I'm paraphrasing, but how Jameis tore up zone coverage, tore up man coverage, which he has been doing that. You're absolutely right. And then you just kind of named off some quarterbacks that you would take over him, some that you wouldn't take over him, so on and so forth. And our good buddy, NFC South friend, NFC South rival quarterback, Saints quarterback, Drew Brees, was on the list of quarterbacks that you would take Jameis Winston over. So
that's correct.
And so,
pull the mic up. Or get closer to it. There we go.
And sorry, for those who don't know, usually I'm sitting at a desk right now and I've got a better setup, but my mother is in our guest room. So, she's taking me to surgery for my ACL tomorrow. But anyways, so sorry about the presentation. I know. But anyway, so I responded with Drew Brees scored 6 touchdowns yesterday not by himself, but himself. And then you responded with, yes, but he can't complete a 17-yard out pass. And that's
from opposite hash. From opposite hash mark.
Opposite hash, yes. And that's what got the eyebrow raising right there. And I mean, dude, I agree with everything you said on your tweet, except for Drew Brees. I don't see how you can take Winston over him right now. And if it's based on the merit of arm strength, I mean, we could debate that all day, which is what we're about to do. So go ahead, sir. It's your show.
Thank you. What got me so frustrated was, I was like a 17-yard oppo hash mark out, which I have talked to you about off air. And, Bucs fans may or may not remember that it was 3rd and 17 a couple of weeks ago. The Saints were in town playing the Bucs, and Drew Brees tried it twice. Once he sailed it because he couldn't drive the ball. The other time he tried to bring it down a little bit. Next play, and it didn't get there in time, in my opinion, and SMB came up and broke up the pass. Probably the only broken up pass that went towards Michael Thomas all day long. But that was not the only reason. But after that, you sent me a tweet about showing Drew Brees throwing the ball down the field, which wasn't I was talking about, but you thought that's what I was talking about. And then the whole thing got spiraled out of control. But really the basis of this is how many quarterbacks, we're talking about Jameis Winston, how many quarterbacks in the NFL would you take today going forward? And I know I didn't say that in my tweet, but going forward, Hugh's future, and just we can even say these last 3 games, because I think it's a little unfair to sort of say, well, because Brady might retire next year, Brees might retire next year. So to throw in future, we'll say today for these last 3 games, what are quarterbacks that you trust that would get you wins more than, I got to change the title of the live stream. Thanks, Mr. Buck Nation. Who are some of the quarterbacks that you would trust more than Winston?
I mean, like I said, I think your list hit it perfectly. You've got Mahomes, you've got Rodgers, you got Drew Brees, in my opinion. You've got, I'm trying to think of who else you named, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson. I think you can make a case for Ryan Tannehill right now, honestly, and I promise that's no bias from Tennessee. Obviously, you want to see him play longer than just the last 6 or 7 games that he's played, but he has just been lights out right now. And then other than that, I mean, pretty much like I said, like your list, man. But I would definitely take Drew Brees over Jameis.
Well, why would you take Drew Brees over Jameis Winston?
Okay, so starting off, we'll start with the obvious body of work. Obviously, he's about to pass Peyton Manning for the all-time league lead in NFL history in yardage.
Okay, let me stop you. From today for the next 3, I don't give a shit what he did. I don't give a shit what he did. Yeah, from what the quarterback, what he can do now.
Okay, well, let's talk about his body of work then for the 2019 season.
Okay.
He's missed 5 games, but in the 8 games that he's played, and this is counting the St. Louis game, the Los Angeles game where he only played 9 snaps. So I'm giving you credit on this one. I'm giving you a little bit of a head start. In those 8 games,
I don't need it.
In those 8 games, he's thrown 17 touchdowns and 4 interceptions that he's played in. Jameis Winston, obviously, 26 touchdowns and 23 interceptions in 13 games. So that comes out to 2.13 touchdowns a game and half an interception a game for Drew Brees. That comes out to 2 touchdowns a game for Jameis Winston and 1.77 interceptions a game for Winston. If you extrapolate those numbers to a full 13-game season for Brees, right now he would have 3,484 yards, which would be 6th in the NFL, and he'd have 28 touchdowns, which would be 2nd in the NFL, and 7 interceptions. If you look at next gen stats, he averages through the game. No, look, hold on. No,
did you come prepared?
Yeah, I've got a torn ACL. I've got way too much time on my hands. Let's just put it that way.
How did you tear your ACL, by the way?
Man, flag football.
Dude,
I jumped up to knock down a pass, landed on 1 foot instead of 2, and that was all she wrote. I wasn't trying to juke anybody out. Nothing cool like that. But next gen stats has Drew Brees. He's got 12 completions of 17 yards or more. I just thought I'd use 17 yards since that's what you went with. He has 12 of those over 7 games, which comes out to 1.71. Now Jameis has 37 completions through 13 games of 17 yards or more, which comes out to over 3 a game. So he's got him beat there, but I think that speaks a lot to the type of offense that Jameis plays in. Now here's one thing that really stuck out to me. When you look at Football Outsiders, yards above replacement, that's been weighted for defensive adjustment, the opponent that the quarterback has played. Drew Brees is 12th in the NFL with 431 yards above replacement, while above average starting quarterback level. That's the type of play you're comparing it to. Winston is only 17 above DYAR, which is 27th in the NFL. So
because why?
What that is what it is. It's playing above replacement quarterback level. So
But why isn't Jameis higher?
Mistakes,
Interceptions.
yeah, the opponent he's playing, fumbles, also just decisions. They also factored, like there's this stat called Alex, which is air less expected yards, which means like let's say you have a 3rd and 6.
Mm-hmm.
Quarterback only throws it 4 yards, and the receiver's got to make up the other 2 yards. Well,
Mm-hmm.
that would show that you're -2 in this category, which means that, or I'm sorry, yeah, you're -2 in this category, which means that you're throwing 2 yards shorter of what you're supposed to be. Well, Breeze and Winston, Breeze is 1.7, Winston is 2.5. So Winston is taking more risks as well. So I feel like that's also a reason why.
Or he's throwing the ball past the first down marker.
That too, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just longer throws, and that leads a lot of times, especially when you have a struggling offensive line, that leads to more mistakes. So I'm not saying it's all Winston. I think it's a product of a better offense, better coached offense has, and all that other stuff. But just going based off of what we know from these two guys and what we've seen this year, I'm taking Drew Brees. There's too many questions around, and too many times when he's saying
what question are those? That he scores 30 points every game? Is that what the question is? Drew Brees just went scoreless against Atlanta. That happened.
No, he also just hung 46 on the San Francisco 49ers.
And lost.
46 points on the 3rd ranked defense in the NFL. And the Falcons were, and I get yes, you can come back and say the Falcons have a terrible.
They do, because they do.
Shut them out. I know, I get it. But yeah, I know, man. Like I said, but when it comes to Winston, too many questions on, and I know a lot of this is predicated on his reputation, just what he's done in the past. But too many times when he throws an interception, it's automatically, well, is it his fault? Is it the line's fault? Is it this person's fault? Whereas a lot of times we know when it comes to Drew Brees, if it's really Drew Brees' fault or not. It's just too much of a guess right now with Winston. The interceptions are just too much. I mean, 23 through 13 games, that's a lot, man.
It is a lot. It is a lot. But for me, and this is why I put him above Brees, it's because of that. We'll use your Alex stat. Okay, he's 1.2. That's not really high for throwing it past the first down marker. So what that says to me, there's a lot of times where he's throwing it short of the first down marker, because that's what Drew Brees does. You bring pressure on 3rd down, he's going to find the outlet, he's going to throw it to the guy, and he's going to hope that his receiver, tight end / running back can make a play and pick up the first down. If it doesn't, no big deal. My defense will stop him and he trots off the field. Jameis gives it the shot. Gave it. You know what happened? When Jameis didn't throw it to the sticks this week, you know what he did? He threw it to Dare. What did Dare do? Not get the first down and then fumbled.
Yeah.
So that's what I like about Jameis. Now, previously, and I'm talking beginning of this year, Jameis would be very frustrating. And I feel like Jameis has learned how to win games despite his defense. I feel like recently, we'll start from the Arizona game. I feel that Jameis has learned to win games despite of himself. And now where I'm seeing Jameis throw 2 picks against Atlanta and still win in a blowout, throw 3 picks against Indianapolis, who could do nothing on offense. All he did was it's just it's 3rd down. We'll just throw it deep. And every time it was caught, the defense played great until they didn't. There was 6 plays where the defense didn't show up. They always happened to go for 60 yards. Right. So that's the way the Colts stayed in the game. Of course, the pick 6 didn't help. Throwing a pick. When he first got out there, then Dare fumbling. So we kind of got behind the 8 ball. But those are games where we would see Jameis continue to keep throwing picks. Even the Carolina game, Cincinnati game last year. From what I'm seeing with Jameis, the way he shredded Atlanta in man-to-man defense, and the commentators going, what are they doing? Why don't they just switch to zone? In comes Indianapolis. All they did was play zone. Commentators, what are they doing? Why don't they pull more man? You know why? Because Jameis is at the point with this offense, with the backing that he's getting with the coaching, he's not afraid to throw a pick now because he's not afraid of getting pulled. And Jameis is more accurate than I've ever seen him. And he's throwing the ball deep, and he's going for it, and he's completing it. Does anyone complain about Jameis's long ball anymore?
No, I mean, shit, they shouldn't have had to begin with, honestly. I mean, there are a lot of other factors that went into why he couldn't complete long balls. So, yeah, I don't really see
But the percentage wasn't good.
Right. But you had people like Deshaun Jackson not practicing and stuff like that. So,
Yes. So, I mean, it's very, very close for me and Breeze. It really is. But if I was going to take these last 3 games as a Bucks fan, and I want them to win, I'm taking over Jameis's sure tenacity of just not wanting to lose. Like everyone says it. Oh, that guy's a competitor. This guy's a competitor. Jameis Winston, that I've learned this year from him, he's Michael Jordan-esque on, like, he defend every blade of grass, make every play. And we've seen that thing where he thinks he can make it, and it blows up in his face a lot. Now it's not blowing up in his face so much on the big plays. Still the frustrating pull your hair out, like you didn't see the linebacker drop back into coverage. Like you couldn't, like the dude's 6'4", he's wearing all white. It's not like you couldn't see him. It's
go off once.
Yeah, he's right. Like I thought that was a great play. That one, the first one I'm talking about.
Darius Leonard is an absolute monster.
That second pick was I give it more of a great play by him because he was lined up over the center. He was playing nose guard at the snap of the ball.
Certainly, yeah.
But it was still bad read James's fault. I get it. So, but what I'm seeing from him as far as, and it's even a maturation as a person. Like the turnovers are still there, but snap and clear. But it wasn't that. It wasn't that last year. It was a little bit about that Carolina where he kept fighting, but now he's snapping and clearing, and I just feel like he's not making the same mistakes. The Bucks, if that game would have went on another 4 quarters, the Bucks would have won 88-35. Maybe the Colts would have got 2 more touchdowns. With Jameis at the helm, with these weapons, and it's not like he didn't. Evans was gone. He threw the ball twice to him. One was a touchdown. One was an interception. That's the only time Evans got the ball. He did this with Perryman, which we all wanted to cut. Did you want to cut Perryman?
No.
Oh, of course not, Evan. We all wanted to cut except for Evan and Justin Watson.
Hold on. The reason why is because I said, what happens if Mike Evans or Chris Godwin gets hurt? That's exactly what I said.
And my response.
I know you don't want to base a lot of longer-term decisions on injury and possibility of injury, but that was the exact reason why I said so. And
and my response to that would have been, what the hell is Justin Watson on the team for then? And hey,
catch 5 balls for 59 yards and a touchdown.
Oh, what did he do? I don't know. He just got to where he's supposed to be, get open and catch the ball. Like, why? Where has this guy been?
BP, dude, such a great question, man. That's another conversation we can have another day. Was incredible. I mean, how many times have we seen him where he actually has finally gotten on the field and dropped a pass or he ran a wrong route or something? To finally see him actually come through and have 5 catches, 59 yards, and a touchdown. Gotta love that, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, and I thought that was great. So I'm okay, like Perryman has restored his faith. Like for me, he has. So I would like to see him back next year. If he's not, I'm okay with it. I'm kind of the same way with Peyton Barber.
Same way. I'm right there.
Because we got Justin Watson and we still do have Scotty Miller for the speed thing. And people always forget that Justin Watson ran like a 4.3 at his pro day. Like the dude's, yeah, he's legit fast. So sort of put a button up on this, and then we'll get into the arm strength thing just because it's entertaining talk for everybody. It was very close for me and Breeze, but for those things and me being a Bucks fan and wanting to see Jameis be, I guess his mature process. I'm saying it all wrong. I just want to see his process keep going on, and if the Buccaneers can win these 3 games. And I think he's playing better football than Breeze. And I think he's playing better football than Brady and all those other guys I mentioned, that it would do wonders for him. And I think it would do wonders for us as a fan base. I think it would be really exciting to go 7-1 in the second half of the season.
Oh, yeah, man. And especially if they can eke out a 9-7 record. If you finish the season on a 6-game win streak, however many game win streak, that's always encouraging, especially if the quarterback is playing well. he's just got to cut down on the interceptions, like we talked about. I know they're not all his fault and stuff like that, but man, just 23 for 13 games is just absolutely unreal. Now, granted, I'm almost willing to wager he won't throw one the rest of the way. If you look
I'll take that bet.
Yeah, if he's oh really okay, hey, let's do it. I mean, I could because I mean think about it, Detroit. I mean, you got.
It doesn't matter. He throws it to a dropping linebacker twice. It doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter who the defense is.
I'm trying to be positive about James, man. Come on, Chris.
So much.
Chris, I hate him. I know.
Hey, Chris.
Massaging me.
So anyway, you were saying about how James is not going to throw a pick the rest of the year?
I mean, if you look at it, I mean, Houston's secondary is terrible. Atlanta, we know they're terrible on defense. Detroit is terrible on defense. I mean, shit, you never know, man. He could finish, 32, 33 touchdowns with 23 picks over the season. And, go ahead and bring him back. Franchise. I think they should just go ahead and extend him 3 years because you get him at a cheaper rate. I feel like I wrote about that back in the summertime when Carson Wentz got extended. But yeah, bring him back. Let's just do this. Let's run it. Let's see what can happen.
Yeah, and that's what I've been with. I know I'm much louder. I don't know how to fix it, guys. I know. Right. Like Brent's not here. I'll turn my mic down a little bit. I don't know if that helps. Like, I know. I'm sorry. It's not. This is why it's not going to go on a podcast. This is just live YouTube only for the entertainment because it's a topic that dominated almost all the podcasts was about Jameis Winston. It definitely dominated the post game shows and all the radios, and all the stuff about like Justin Watson we've talked about. Like no one talked about that. No one talked about Perriman. No one talked about the defense. No one talked about how the secondary. There was no in between with those guys. Like they were lights out, or they were just like how. With 38 seconds left, how do you let a guy get behind you on the first play? How do you do that?
Right.
That's such JV bullcrap.
I know.
So no one talked about that. And we're talking about Winston, and we kind of got into, we got into this thing, and so here we are. So, is there anything that before we get into sort of this arm talent thing and how you think that your lollipop pass to a wide open guy 40 yards down the field standing by himself in the goal line proves that Drew Brees has arm strength. Is there anything you want to talk about, like a quarterback I might have missed? I know you said sort of down the line, but do you think Jameis you trust Jameis more than Tom Brady, Wentz, Rivers?
His talent. Well, not Wentz. I think Wentz, like Jameis, has a lot going on around him right now. A lot of injuries. I mean, hell, the Eagles had 3 active wide receivers tonight. I mean, that's wild. But not as man. Him and Wentz are right at neck and neck with me. I would take Jameis just because I'm more familiar with Jameis. So I would take Jameis over Wentz. Really, man, no. Like I said, I think you hit it on the head outside of Brees. Like I said, I think you're right.
All right. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of this thing. Because we talked a little bit about the show and we got back and forth. So I'm gonna switch into a more comfortable yelling at position here because I know it's coming. So, all right. Now, I sent out the tweet about Brees not being one of my go-to guys. You sent out a tweet, basically mocking me and saying he just threw 87 touchdowns. LOL, Ren, you're stupid. You should get off Twitter. Which I responded was, hey, I didn't put one of the reasons, but what I was thinking in my head was one of the reasons was because Brees doesn't have the arm strength. And I brought up the 17-yard opposite hash mark out that he can't throw anymore. We've talked a little bit. I'm also talking about tight window throws. The throw that, who the hell Brissett made. Remember when he was rolling out and he tried to fire it in there and Carlton Davis made a great recovery and tipped it with his fingers?
Yes, exactly. Back of the end zone.
Yeah. If Drew Brees throws that, Carlton Davis picks it off because he doesn't have the arm strength to get it by him. And that's what I'm saying. I'm talking the zip on the ball. I'm talking elite arm strength now. Now you came back and showed, like I said before, this this lollipop of a pass. That I'm pretty sure the guy in the front row could have, like, after he released it, the guy in the no. The guy in the front row could have jumped out of his seat and ran up and picked it off and jumped in front of Cook. But, the 49ers decided not to play any defense on Cook that play. So please explain why you think that
A 40-yard pass compared to a 17-yard pass is
because yes, like, why you think these are apples and apples?
Okay, because, and like I said, this alludes to my greater point. Brees was on the move. He was rolling out to his left. He's a right.
No.
Yeah.
No. He rolled out like 3 steps, stopped, reset, and fired.
Okay.
He wasn't on the move.
He did not reset. He was.
Yes, he did.
Oh, okay. All right.
Hang on.
Pull the video up.
I am. I'm pulling it up. Yeah. I'm pulling it up right now. God damn it. Go ahead. Continue.
But anyway, so he throws it since we're using the hashes, he
Right.
threw from the middle hash, and it went 6 to 7 yards outside of the left hash. So he's not throwing an oppo hash to your specific example, but he's still throwing it outside of a hash mark across his body. He's a right-handed quarterback. He's throwing it to the left-hand side. So that takes drive. That takes accuracy. Like you said earlier, you said you could throw a 40-yard pass.
I can.
I can't.
It is true.
Okay, but like I said earlier,
I will say I can't do with an NFL ball. Those things, you ever pick one of those things up, they're ginormous.
Ball, that changes. So anyways, but if you were to throw that 40-yard pass, Ren, it would sail out of bounds. It would sail.
No, it would not.
It would not find its way to Jared Cook.
Yes, it would. If he's standing on the goal line all by himself, I could hit him from 40 yards. Yes.
He got knocked out on that play. He got concussed because he got the shit knocked out of him.
He got concussed because he got
knocked out.
He got concussed because he was so shocked that Brees made the throw that far.
He's like, holy shit, guys.
His brain exploded.
But then let's talk about.
Okay, I'm watching the play. I'm going to show it to the viewers. Okay, Ike.
People decide.
He drops straight back, takes 2 steps to his left. There's no one near Cook at all. The guy comes off the other wide receiver and hits him while he's diving because, by the way, it's a crappy throw.
You realize that it had 23 additional yards.
Here we go. Rolls it. Okay, drop back. Oh, 2 steps. Planted. Threw it. Oh, shit. Sorry. We'll have to watch it again. All right. Drops straight back. Shuffles 2 steps. Resets. Throws it.
You're right. He did
off target.
You're right about the reset.
And off target. And no one was covering Cook.
He's still middle hash, and it comes out 7 yards outside the left hash. And it's 23 additional air yards compared to your example. You don't think there's arm strength goes into that?
Here we go. And here's the problem. This is it. This is what started the whole thing. When you're on the opposite hash, I keep on getting out of frame.
Let's make this clear. So when he's 2 steps more to his right.
When he's on the opposite hash and throwing a pass to the sidelines, that's a 70-yard out. That's not a 17-yard pass. And by the way, you can't rainbow it over there. You have to throw it on a rope because the corner's going to undercut it and pick it. And he can't do that anymore. It's about the mustard. I'm not saying he can't throw the ball 40 yards or 50 yards anymore. I'm saying that he can't fire it in there when he has to. That's what I'm saying.
That can be contextualized in so many different ways, though.
And I'm contextualizing this way, the way I tweeted it.
So what about a 15-yard out or an 18-yard out? I mean, I guess if you can't hit
7 from the oppo hash?
What about a 10-yard out? I mean, is the 7 yard, is the EPA that much difference between the 7 yards of a 10-yard out and the 17-yard out?
I don't think so. Not as long as the corner's there. I don't think he can do it. I don't think he can throw it from the opposite hash to a 2-yard out on man-to-man coverage and get it there before the cornerback undercuts it.
So when Jameis overthrows a guy 7 yards in front of him, or
Uh-huh.
or he throws,
It's because his arm is too strong.
or he doesn't know how to corral and harness the raw power. But no, but when he overthrows somebody right there, I mean, what do you say about that?
It was a bad throw. Not that he can't make it. Not that he doesn't have enough arm strength.
But he didn't make it. I mean,
But he,
examples from one game. You're using
but he,
one game, and I used
you're using,
one game.
yeah.
And standing on.
But your examples have nothing to do with what I'm saying.
Yes, it does. You're talking about
This is what I feel like you're doing to me. Evan, what's your favorite type of ice cream?
Oh God, I guess Moose Tracks. Why not?
Moose Tracks. Okay. When exactly did you start hating chocolate?
Okay, I see what you're saying, but Ren, this is what you're doing to me.
I think all ice cream is equally good, and everyone should enjoy what they want to enjoy.
No, we don't have to be all 2019 on this, right? We don't have to be all PC. Not all ice creams are created equal, Ren. Just like not all throws are created equal.
Exactly.
But
exactly. So a lollipop down the field.
You can have your 17-yard out pass. I'll take my 35-yard touchdown pass all day long, buddy.
I get that, but you know what the difference is? Jameis can make both throws. Breeze can't.
Does it? But Breeze didn't.
He did. Oh my God! I guess Mike Evans, 61 yards, blowing his hamstring was a mirage.
He got Mike Evans hurt.
Oh my God!
No, but at the end of the day, man, yes, Winston has all the talent in the world. He can make all the throws. You're absolutely right. And Bree's arm is not what it used to be. I will gladly see that. I will gladly.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
But if you're like Evan, you give me a quarterback right now to drive you down. Well, shit. Actually, this doesn't really work either because Winston's been so damn good in the final 2 minutes. Say, hey, see, look how fair I am, Chris. Anyways, but if you still came to me and you said, Evan, who will you take in a 2-minute drill? Right now, for these last 3 games, I'm taking Drew Brees. Now, next year,
I didn't say 2-minute drill. I said wins.
Oh my God, I'm an idiot. Yes, for the rest of the season, yes. Then I'm taking Drew Brees. Yes. Now next year, a completely different story. But right now, I'm taking Brees.
If you want to know what a 17-yard out looks like, putting it on a dime, just look at the last touchdown pass to Perryman.
Oh yeah, no, that's beautiful, dude. No, that was.
Yeah, you know who can't throw that pass? Me. I can't throw that pass. I can throw it 40 yards to a guy standing all by himself in the end zone and not make him jump up and reach, by the way. I'll put it like right at his knees or like here or here. I'm not going to make him fall on the hard, AstroTurf and give him a concussion.
Well, hey,
you know who does that? Drew Brees.
Son of a bitch. Hey, you know what this all means, though? When I come back to training camp next year, you're throwing 40-yard dimes all day, bro, on the training. I mean, that's the best way to do this. Let's do it.
I need to bring like a J5J or a J5Y ball, which is like 13 to 15-year-olds. Like, seriously, I mean, look at these things. I mean, like, yeah, I mean.
My hands fit in the screen.
Oh, I can do that too. Like, again, see, context.
I can't get the mirror thing down. I'm having trouble with the mirror.
All I know is both my knees work. That's all I'm saying. No, listen, I can throw a ball. Like, I'll have to get a J5, J5Y, and you stand on the goal line, and like we can, sneak in the little, media row where we don't have to throw it under the stand. You stand on the goal line. I'll stand on the 40, and you will not have to take a step anywhere, and you will catch the ball.
Let's do it, man.
It's already done. I've already done it. I've already doctored the video. It's out there.
Just get some random redheaded dude.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I am so shocked that you didn't pick Carson Wentz since apparently he's your twin brother.
Dude, yeah, that's the redheads usually got to stick together, but man, like I said, I love Jameis. What can I say?
Unless Jameis is named Drew Brees.
Right. Exactly.
No, wait, that doesn't make sense. All right, man. This was a lot of fun. I got my frustrations out. Hopefully, my girlfriend won't be scared of me anymore. Me stomping around the house and huffing and puffing. Anything else you'd like to say or bring up or talk about or plug, who you write for or your podcast before we get out of here and let all these good people, I don't know, go to bed? It's 9:30 here. I don't know.
Stop staring at my ugly ass. Man, just check out my podcast, North and South Podcast. I try to do one a week, but since here lately, I'm gonna start trying to do 2 a week. But other than that, man, no, just hopefully this is my stance on the rest of the season. Beat Detroit, beat Atlanta. If Tampa Bay loses one of those games, it kind of sets us back a couple steps. All this progress that's been made just to lose to a bad team. I can kind of forgive the Texans, but just beat Atlanta, beat Detroit, get it done, and let's go into 2020 with some high hopes. I'm down.
Yeah. I'm not quite like there. Like if we lose to Atlanta or Detroit, I'm not going to say we've gone backwards. It all depends on how we lose. Obviously, if Jameis throws four interceptions, we can't overcome it. Or the defensive.
The thought makes all of us choke. Don't worry.
Yeah. Or it depends on how the defense plays. But yeah, I said it a couple of weeks ago. I expect the Bucs to win out. Obviously, the Texans game is the big game. I think it's going to be another blowout. If Jameis can keep this goddamn turnovers under control against Detroit, I don't think they'll be able to move the ball much against our defense, at least not sustain long drives. And the Atlanta game, I just don't. I don't know what it is about Atlanta. I never fear Atlanta. It's like it's the Falcons. How everyone else views us. We'll win. It's the Bucs. It's Falcons. It's like
every time I see Atlanta on the schedule, I'm just like, okay, yeah, we're okay this week.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they're the Falcons. I mean, what's in Atlanta? The varsity, and that's it. Georgia Tech. Who cares?
That just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So that's where I am. We're going 7-1. So yeah, I guess I gotta do my thing to get out of here. So is that it? Anything else? Last call. Last call. Yeah. Well, a lot of people do, and a lot of people don't. But I think you're swell, Clark. That's from Superman 1. If anyone knows. No. I have a little problem with the L word. I like to say it means a lot more to me than everyone else, but really it just kind of I have a hard time saying it because I don't know, mom, dad, something in the past. I don't know. So I'm quite fond of you as well, Evan. So the best place to find me is on Twitter at Rendax, REN_DAXT. I'm always down to talk Buccaneers football. And hey, what do you know? Oh, before we go, I'm going to try this. Hey, everybody in the chat that's still there, I'm going to try to do something. I'm going to try to send an invite, and I want to see if it works, and we can bring somebody in just for a little bit. Yeah, I want to see how this. Okay, yeah, bear with me because I'm retarded. All right. It's not gonna let me do it. Damn it.
Oh man.
Well, I messed it up. At the beginning, it asked me but it won't go all the way up to the beginning. It said I had a link and it would let me do it, but for some reason, it's not letting me. It said I can make that link public, but I didn't want to do it. Anyway, sorry, everybody. You don't get to talk to Evan and yell at him and tell him what he's done throughout this podcast that was wrong, or come in and tell me how great I am and what a nice sweater I'm wearing tonight. Oh, that's a bunch of crap. Evan, thank you so much for joining on. Say bye to the people. We're out of here.
See y'all. Thanks, Randy.
Bye. Oh, anytime, man. Later. I'm quite fond of you, if you didn't know.
You too, buddy. Love you.